Yes, I am sporting my Mickey or Minnie Mouse ears today for this very special video. Today I want to share with you my tips, tricks, and secrets of Disney. Hi everyone, my name is Shannon and welcome to my channel, The Daily DIYer. So I'm going to be very honest with you right up front, and that is that this was our very first time as a family going to Disney World, and we actually booked out only 2 months before our trip, so we really didn't have a whole lot of time to do any planning or even any research. So with that said, we still had a very memorable, fun, and affordable trip. So this is totally doable, whether this is your first time or if you're a seasoned veteran. And I would love to hear how many times you all have been to Disney World or to Disneyland, or if you've never been, let me know down in the comments below. So of course, budget was a very big thing for us. These trips can get very pricey, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't go over budget throughout this process. So one of the things we did do in prepping for our trip was to create and make some of those things that we needed versus buying them. And the way that I actually surprised my kiddos with this trip was with a countdown board. And all I did to create this was use a Dollar Tree 8x10 picture frame. I added some scrapbook paper, a vinyl black Mickey head, and also the words Countdown to Disney on there, and made this into a cute little countdown chalkboard so we could count down the days until our trip. And of course you can make your own t-shirts. That is such an inexpensive way versus purchasing them. Even Dollar Tree carries t-shirts, and they even carry polos right now for those that maybe prefer that style. So you can make your own shirts, and I did make one of mine, and that was kind of what I wore whenever I did a big reveal on Mother's Day to surprise my kiddos with this trip. But you could also make your t-shirts for your daily visits. If you're not able to make your own t-shirts, then I would highly suggest heading over to Etsy. They have some of the most unique and affordable options over there. My t-shirt that I'm wearing actually came from Etsy. It's one that I unfortunately didn't get to wear on my trip, so I thought it'd be fun to wear it here on this video. Another good option is hitting Amazon, especially if it's last minute, because you can get those quick shipping options through that. You can also find ears on there. I actually made my ears. They were an old pair that I had, and I ripped the bow off, and I made my own bow and added a cute little Wonderland metal accent piece to the middle, so I would have this cute little Alice inspired set for the trip. That's a whole nother subject, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And another really great affordable option if you're wanting to match whenever you go down to each one of the parks in Disney is to hit the souvenir shops. We actually had one right next to our resort, and they had incredible prices and all the different sizes. This store was completely stocked full of all kinds of things Disney. It was so much fun to go in there and shop, so I would definitely head there first before you head into Disney to spend the money, because you're gonna get better prices in those souvenir shops. So now back to why I didn't get to wear my shirt into the park, and basically I did take it with me. We actually went during a hurricane, and it kind of went around us. We only got a few little sprinkles here and there. We were so lucky and fortunate, and it also put a nice overcast on that day of our trip, so we didn't get super sunburned, so it actually was a very big blessing in disguise. But that brings me to the weather. So everyone told me when you go down there, just expect rain. So what we did is we actually packed a bag so that we had extra clothes, extra shoes, extra socks while we were there in case we did get downpoured on and we needed to change so that we were comfortable. So basically just pack and be prepared for rain, because likely it is going to happen. So what we did is, like I said, we packed extra clothes, and we also spent the extra money to have a locker, and we got the biggest one they have because number one, those extra outfits and clothing, but also so that we had room to store anything we might purchase there, which my son did get a couple things for him, my daughter got a couple things for her, so we would put them in that locker so we didn't have to carry them around. So that was definitely money well spent. We did carry around a backpack, and that backpack carried our ponchos. Ponchos are a must because like I said, it's probably gonna rain during the spring, summer months. So definitely be prepared. I ordered my ponchos off of Amazon, so they were much more affordable. However, those souvenir shops have affordable ponchos too. You can find them at Dollar Tree, you can find them at Walmart in the camping section, or if you're like in the middle of a giant rainstorm and you're at Disney, they even have them there. Just be prepared for those higher prices. So luckily, we were pretty lucky when it came to weather, but we were still prepared because we wanted to make sure we could keep enjoying our Disney trip, even if there was inclement weather. Now let's go back to the part where I said that we didn't do any planning and we didn't do any prep really, or research. And basically that's because there's just so much out there and we were kind of overwhelmed with the thought of trying to figure out the best and what was favorites and all that kind of thing. So my best advice is ask your friends. So some of my friends actually told me what are the great rides that you absolutely must go on to, kind of explained it to us to make sure that was our kind of ride. So I would absolutely go to your friends and family first before you hit the web, because you will be so overwhelmed with all of everyone's opinions and all of the details, even when it comes to food and places. It was just a lot and it was just too much for us to kind of weed through in that short amount of time that we had. So friends were our best resource. Now I will tell you our favorite rides that are musts when we go back again to ride are in Magic Kingdom, our Space Ranger, that was my son's absolute favorite. We love Space Mountain, and also Haunted Mansion. Now we didn't get to do everything, so there'll be some new ones we'll want to try when we go back next time, but those are musts for us. And then we also visited Epcot one day, and the favorites there were Soarin' and also the Test Track. And then the other thing we want to make sure we do when we go back to Epcot is to just enjoy all of the cultural food and entertainment and drinks that they have there. We didn't feel like we got to spend near enough time in Epcot. Now we did not get to visit Hollywood Studios because it was totally packed. We went during like post-COVID. We are vaccinated, so luckily we didn't have to wear masks except for about 5 minutes on the monorail into Magic Kingdom, but the rest of the time we did not have to, which was amazing. But Hollywood Studios, you have to book ahead of time right now, so we actually missed out on being able to go there. And then Magic Kingdom, I was told, was kind of a half-day park, so we just didn't want to spend only a half day in a park. Now you can tell me different down in the comments below. If there's some amazing rides or features we need to check out there, make sure to let me know, because those two parks are on our must-do list for a future Disney trip. Now when it comes to food, I felt like we spent the most money on food. We did not pack snacks, we did not pack drinks, we just stopped at water fountains as often as we could. And we also found out that you can actually pre-order your meals on the app. And honestly, I would say go ahead and do that when you first get there, because number one, you're gonna have a lot of options. And number two, half the time when we would walk up to a restaurant or a little side snack cart, it would make you order on the app anyway. So that might be something definitely you'd want to prepare for ahead of time so you have an idea, because I felt like we were just getting all this fried food, not necessarily anything we really wanted, but we were just hungry. So if it had a table and it had an opening, we sat down and ate. So I feel like we definitely could have saved money when it comes to food. We did actually get to make a very last minute reservation at the Garden Grill at Epcot, and that was the most amazing experience. So if you're gonna splurge anywhere, do it on one of those character meals, because it was so fun to meet Mickey and Pluto and Chip and Dale. We got a meal that was all you can eat, and it was delicious, and it was amazing food and drinks and the atmosphere and dessert, and it rotated, so it went around a whole circle during our meal. It was just so fun. It was almost like a ride and an experience in itself. Very pricey, but for us, worth it. And it was finally nice to get like a good meal that we could sit down and enjoy. Now those are definitely ones you are going to want to make reservations for ahead of time. Next time, the Be Our Guest restaurant is on our must-do list. Have to do that next time after that experience. now we know it is totally worth it and to plan ahead for those types of things. Another thing that we had out constantly was our Disney app so that we knew wait times on rides. It had the map as you were walking around. It had where you can order your food on there. It had your photos. We did get the Memory Makers package. Totally recommend that. It was about $69, I believe. And you did have to wait in line for photographers to take your pictures. But now that we're back and I've uploaded all those pictures, I'm so glad we have them. It wasn't moments where we had to ask someone else to take a picture of us. They're really, really nice. And there's some fun ones in there too. Now this was totally just one of those things I felt like we needed were the Magic Bands. However, they're kind of special. You can only order them on the Disney store online unless you're staying at a resort. So there was not a lot of selection when I went on there to order them because it's just a special thing, I guess, for members and for park resort people that are staying. But you can still link those to a debit card. You can still link your photos to them. You can still link your entry pass to them. So it did come in really handy, especially for those photos. You just show them your wrist. For when you walk in, you just tap the Mickey. Now we did not have any fast passes during this time or else our fast passes would have been on there. So that was just something fun and kind of convenient. Definitely not a must, but if you want the convenience of it, definitely recommend it. And I think the absolute biggest thing I would do differently next time is to stay on property. There are so many perks that comes along with it. We only stayed about 3 miles away in a resort, so it wasn't a long drive. However, we got so tired and I really wanted to see the fireworks, but we just couldn't make it. The thought of waiting to have a good spot and then fighting the crowd to the car and then fighting the road home, it just seemed like we were not gonna make it. So we did not, unfortunately, get to see the fireworks. Had we stayed on the property, we could have gone back, rested, and come back for the fireworks. Definitely wish we could have done that. Both nights we didn't get to see them. So there's some big perks that come with staying on property. I actually did try to see what pricing would be if we stayed on property, but because we booked 2 months out, there was like pretty much nothing available at that point. So next time we will definitely also plan much sooner in advance. And the only other thing I wish I would have done was taken more video. I took tons and tons of pictures and we had that Memory Maker package for photos, but I feel like I didn't take near enough video. So I wish I would have had my phone and my camera out much more for that, but I am so grateful for the opportunity. We feel so blessed to be able to go when we went because we could have seen fireworks. Even though we didn't stay for them, they had just come back the week before. We didn't have the mandates that were going on at the time. We kind of just had free range and it was so wonderful. Despite everything, I feel like you can definitely go without planning. You can definitely go without prepping with all of the accessories. Just go and have fun, experience it. It is so worth the time. It is so worth the money. It is so worth the memories. So I would love to hear you all's Disney advice for me for our next trip. You can leave those down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you are also a Disney fanatic. I definitely am now. Love the ears. I actually have my other ears up there on my shelf because I love them so much. I want to put them on display too, and we can't wait to go back. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.